Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Much like you, I've had a lot of extra time on my hands, and while I've enjoyed watching a lot of Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, the list goes on, I found myself really wanting to go back to a time in my young adult life where I was doing a lot more hands-on activities. And if that is you and you love to do hands-on things, stay with me because we're going to talk about puzzles. Oh yeah, I said it. I haven't done a puzzle in, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 years. But as a young adult, especially, I would say like from the ages of 12 to 17, I was really into hands-on activities. I loved puzzles. I loved doing things like latch hook. I don't consider myself crafty, but I like to do things that don't require a ton of like innovation with my hands. And so I, at the start of this whole stay-at-home phase, was like, oh man, now that I have more of this free time, why don't I pull out the one puzzle that I've owned for years, which was an I Spy Christmas ornaments puzzle. Super challenging, very intricate. But as soon as I finished it, I was just into it. I really love putting the pieces together. It was a nice way to sit, but not feel like I was just being a couch potato. So I immediately got hooked on wanting to get more puzzles. I was very late to that puzzle game though, because by the time I found puzzles that I wanted to purchase, just any puzzle in general is basically sold out. But the one puzzle collection I got very fixated on was Harry Potter puzzles. You guys, I have to say this whole stay-at-home order has really allowed my inner Harry Potter obsession to become super full-blown out there. I could probably do a whole series on Harry Potter things since we started this quarantine. I would say I've been headed towards this phase for the last 2 or 3 years, but now it's just an obsession. It is out there. So I came across, and maybe I'm the last person to know this, but the New York Puzzle Company has a whole series and collection of Harry Potter puzzles where the illustrations are from the same artist who did the original Harry Potter covers. And I don't know about you guys, I love the original Harry Potter covers. I think that they are super fun and childlike, but also serious and very much embody the novels. I don't know, I love them. So when I saw these puzzles, I was like, game on, gotta find them. They're very hard to find. I would say that the most consistent place I've been able to get puzzles from are from the New York Puzzle Company's website. They're not the first place I got some of the Harry Potter puzzles from, but basically I would say every week I randomly check their website and they might have 1 or 2 in stock, and that's when I've made the purchase. The puzzles range from 100 pieces to 1,000 from what I've seen, and I've seen that they seem to offer every single illustration in all of those formats. They also have a ton of illustrations to choose from. I, at this point, have so many that I might try to get the whole collection. I don't know. We'll see. They also range in price. I personally have been vying for the 500 to 1,000 piece puzzles. I'm not opposed to a 750 piece one, but I feel like those ones are a little bit harder to get a hold of. And the ones that are 500 pieces to 1,000 are basically in the $15.95 to $19.95 price point. And I don't mind paying that for a Harry Potter puzzle. I've paid $10 to $12 for a non-licensed illustration puzzle before, so that price point to me is fine. So I would say if you're interested in these puzzles, even though there's a bunch of places that seem to be offering them, if you're looking for consistent stock, just try the New York Puzzle Company, and if they're sold out, just keep checking. I think what's happening is that they're making them as quickly as they can, and then they're selling out really fast because puzzles are having a moment. So the 2 puzzles that I have that are 1,000 pieces are the Flying Keys puzzle, which looks like this. This puzzle wasn't my favorite one to put together. I'm not gonna lie, this was my least favorite illustration. If I had the choice of all the puzzles from this collection, I don't know if I would have picked this one, but at this point, because I'm on such a puzzle kick, that when they come in stock, I just kind of am buying them regardless of what the illustration looks like, as long as it's at least 500 pieces. This was also a real bear to put together because of the color palette. There's a lot of purple up in here, and the key colors that they use for these flying keys look really similar, so it was really hard to figure out which pieces were putting together which flying key, and there were a lot of times where I thought I was putting together something and I had to take it apart. Maybe because I'm not the most expert at puzzles, but I think I'm pretty good. And so this one just, it was fine. Like, it was a puzzle, it did the job, but it wasn't my favorite. The other 1,000-piece puzzle that I got, this is still in its packaging, just brand new out of the mailbox. This one is Quidditch. Even though this is in a white box, these seem to still be in the same collection because the ones that they showcase on the back of the box look like ones that they have in this type of box packaging. So I don't know why they're in two different boxes, but I'm very much looking forward to doing this one. The other 4 that I have are 500-piece puzzles. I will definitely say that the 500-piece puzzles I can put together in probably 6 to 8 hours, but the 1,000-piece puzzle, the one that the flying key one, that took me probably closer to 18 hours to do. I don't know if it's simply because there were just more pieces, or if it was because it was a more complicated puzzle, just in the sense that things looked really similar. But the other ones that I have that are 500 pieces are Hogwarts. This one was really fun to put together. I don't know why, I just love the bird's eye view of the Hogwarts castle. It had like good challenges to it, and it was just, I don't know, it was the first one that I got my hands on. I very much enjoyed this one. And it's definitely a puzzle that I would have liked the idea of framing. I have this weird fantasy, the things I dream about, things I want to aspire to, where I would put all these together and frame all of them. It's a super weird, never gonna happen dream, but, you know, if I lived in my own Harry Potter castle, these would be on display for all to see. Then we move into like some Christmassy ones. The first one is Christmas at Hogwarts. This one was also really fun. Like, I love this illustration. You've got Dumbledore right in the center. You've got, you know, Fred, George, Ron, all like hanging out. You got Harry here with some sassy firecrackers. Like, this puzzle was also fun. I enjoyed putting it together. Sadly, I put this together at the start of May when we had a snowstorm in New England. That felt too real. This was just, again, a fun one. I enjoyed this puzzle. I also liked 3 broomsticks. This one was somewhat challenging to put together as well because so much of the scene was this sort of bluey white snow. And as you can see here, like with this lamppost, there's actually a man in here too. And that this man is the same color as this man, so it can be sometimes challenging to differentiate what you're putting together, but still fun. Still enjoyed my time with this one. And then the last one that I have is Diagon Alley. This one I flew through. I don't know why this one took me, like, this one was the quickest one that I put together. I don't know if I was just into it or if it was easier to put together, but a lot of fun. So the last thing I'll say about these is also the quality. As someone who's put together a lot of puzzles, I feel like these pieces are really nice quality. They're a relatively thick puzzle piece, not like preschool child, like wooden puzzle piece, but they're definitely, as you can see here with this level of thickness on the puzzle piece, they definitely are substantial, where when you put the pieces together, you can feel this sort of almost like a click where you feel the puzzle pieces go in and they're not just gonna fall apart. Like when I've deconstructed my puzzles, I've really had to like work to get them to break up. And I will say with some puzzles, when I deconstruct them, pieces like this will get all bent even if I'm being gentle. I didn't have any problems with this. In fact, I even had an incident where I was acting a fool and I spilled a little bit of liquid on one of the puzzles. And because these are on the thicker side, plus I was really quick about grabbing a paper towel and patting it dry, it didn't totally warp the puzzle, which was so nice. So I think these are really good quality. The one thing that I will say that's a little bit weird with the puzzle is some of the pieces are cut a little bit wonky. Maybe I just haven't done challenging enough puzzles in my previous life, but like here's an example. You've got this sort of really weirdly shaped puzzle piece, like it has a weird point to it. It doesn't make the puzzle impossible to figure out, but when I first pulled one of these puzzles out to do, I was not expecting it, so it was a little bit unexpected. The other thing that's quirky is that some of the pieces appear or give the appearance that they have a flat edge and are in fact a border piece, when in reality they're not. Here's somewhat of an example of what I'm talking about. You can see here, like, it seems almost like this is a flat edge, but it's not 100%. So it does create that false sense of you've found all the border pieces. Again, maybe that's just part of the challenge, not trying to be whiny, just trying to warn you if you're not accustomed to that, because I just wasn't the very first time, but after doing so many of these, I was much better prepared and equipped going forward with them. So even though I know this was a little bit random and not my normal type of content, I hope that you enjoyed hearing about how I've been spending some of my time. Of course, if you're doing puzzles, I would love to know down below in the comments, or just sort of what you've been doing if puzzles aren't your thing. What have you been doing? You can also feel free to leave any comments on if you want more Harry Potter content, because I do have a bunch more that I could film, or if you want to know more of like what Ben and I have been watching, because I'm sure much like you guys, we're doing a lot of TV watching right now. But I hope that you enjoyed hearing a bit about these puzzles, and I'll talk to you in my next video real soon. Bye.